I think it's been really fun with 4 characters. It just sucks when somebody misses. You know?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like you just lost 25% of your party.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I really am gonna run and grab something now.
Oh, is that demand shift?
All
right, we'll see in a second. Making him work. I don't even know what he does for a living. I thought he worked from home.
Oh no, he works. He's been working from home during COVID. Yeah.
No. Well, they have that bad strain over there in France and UK. I thought they were pretty much like shutting down again.
I don't know. It seems like a lot of different places are going through various waves. I mean, here in Florida, it seems like no one really cares. Like most of the people I see around here don't even have masks on.
Dude, the numbers have been rising in cases and deaths. Like it just keeps going up.
Yeah.
I don't get it. It's just almost like people. This is it's sad to say, but I think like a lot of humans on the planet just don't have they don't care about other people. Like they just don't, right?
Yeah.
They have a diminished value of life and death, and I think that's part of the problem is people don't have to make those kind of choices until it's too late. But then it's like it's too late, you know?
Yeah, and then it's always someone else's fault.
Right.
Oh, I got sick. Why didn't you do this? What are you kidding me? You have your agency. You do what's right, and then we don't.
That's why I think everybody should have to intern on a ranch or a farm, so you get a very intimate feeling of what life and death is like.
Yeah, I mean, just look out in the world. Just look out in the world today. Anyone's problem is not because of what they did; it's because of someone else.
Right.
It's the blame game, gentlemen.
It's the blame game.
Blame game.
Well, it's a natural response to saving one's ego. You know, saving face. It's I don't know what to say. I mean, we're all guilty of it at some point.
How y'all been this week?
You know, I've been doing good. I've been having problems sleeping a little bit, but that's just because I'm excited. So.
All right, let me go to music. Turn the music off. All right. Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to another Thursday night game. When we last left our heroes, they were discovering such magical times.
Oh my God.
As they were in the happy land of all the ponies. April Fools. This is not a happy campaign. This is Sword Coast Chronicles. I am DM Galabond, and our intrepid adventurers are in the land of Barovia, where they have met a toy maker who makes rather bizarre and macabre toys. They have made the acquaintance of a automated toy that seems to like them well enough, but also maybe has issues with other people that they have met along the way. They have encountered several villagers who seem to almost be dead to the world, except they're, they walk around, they eat, they apparently breathe, they can talk, but they don't seem to have much emotion. And they have been invited, after playing a little bit at the Blue Water Inn, they have been invited to go over to the home of Lady Wachter, one of the nobles in the town of Valaki. And I believe you guys were just about to head over that way when we finished our session last time. Is that correct? Or
well, I had just finished talking to 3 individuals, one who was currently sane and the other 2 severely dazed.
Okay.
And so once they walk off, I would have Mulek would walk over to the party.
Okay, so we're still in the common room of the Blue Water Inn, and Falliger has played a bit, and what do we call him? Thanos. Thanos has told a few stories, and Falliger really has impressed several of the townsfolk that were there, but some of them, they just didn't react at all because of whatever this condition is that makes them, whether they're charmed by something, as a couple of you have speculated, or something else. So go ahead. You're with your companions.
Hey, good job, Falliger. You never disappoint.
Well, I try, partner. Appreciate that.
Yeah, I was just walking around the audience here, and I started chatting up a few individuals, and had the strangest experience. There were 3 of them, and one of them I was having a good conversation with, but the other 2, and they would give like one-word answers. They didn't appear to be all there. Kind of like half this crowd in this room.
I know what you mean. It's like you could see it in their eyes.
I'm gonna tell you
doesn't seem
both.
right.
I'm gonna tell you both. This crowd looks so dull that I don't think we're going to make any coin.
Well, here's the strange part, right? So I wanted to find out like kind of what the mentality is of, the people who don't appear to have that far off look. And I started questioning the one who was not so dazed, and the person clearly, understands and knows that the 2 people that were with him, and I don't know if they were brothers or friends or coworkers, they all work at the mill. And so it seems like they have they go to work during the day. But as I was trying to get more information, the one who was not in that dazed state clearly didn't want to share with me regarding the condition of the other 2. Almost like he knows that they're dazed, but he doesn't want others to know why. And then he left. They left. And so it's odd. Like I get the feeling that the people in this town they're hiding something. They know that the other half is charmed and dazed, or whatever we want to call it, but yet they're like kind of ignoring the situation. Like they're okay with it, but they don't want others to know about it. I don't know. It's weird.
To be honest with you, Mulek, this place was weird the moment we arrived.
Yeah.
Not to mention the food really sucks.
Right? No ale either?
And I look over to Thanos. I say, Thanos, good stories, man. I enjoyed your stories.
Oh, well, thank you. So, are you boys gonna stay here and play some more? I think you all got invited to a fancy party tonight.
Yeah, I think we're gonna go. I think we've pretty much killed this the audience here. I think we're gonna head on over. But like I said, it was nice meeting you, Thanos. And if you need help looking for that, whatever you were looking for, come find us, and maybe we can help you out.
I may do that indeed. I will give you one piece of advice. Don't trust too much of what you hear from Lady Wachter. She will try to poison you against the Burgomeister. And of course, in all fairness, I would tell you, if you were going to dine with the Burgomeister, don't trust him too much either. Trust in what your gut tells you.
Yeah,
your senses can deceive you.
I was going to say, you don't leave many options for those to trust.
I've only been here a month, but there are very few people, I think, in this whole accursed land that are worthy of being trusted. Those in power, least of all.
Well, you stay safe, and I hope you hook up with the rest of your carnival friends at some point, or, get where you want to go.
I hope so too. At this point, I would settle for a way out of the mists, I think.
Well, if you hear of any mist coming or any one-way tickets out of here, please let us know.
I will do what I can. You all stay safe now.
All right, you too.
And he goes over, sits at the bar, and starts talking with Martikov, the owner of the inn. And you guys, Faldor, you do see that here in this place, there doesn't really readily seem to be a habit of sort of collecting tips or passing a jar or passing a hat for the performers. Nobody, seems to make any move to try to want to buy Fallager a drink or give him any money, or for that matter, the storyteller either. The people who enjoyed the performances sort of nod their heads appreciatively towards Fallager as you guys are packing up and getting ready to leave, but they don't make any move to try to approach you or talk to you or anything. They just all seem to stay at their little respective tables.
I thought this place was weird.
Mm-hmm. So you head out into the streets. And let's see, where is our town of Vallaki? Town of Vallaki. God, I have this map here somewhere. There it is. Okay. All right. So you leave the inn here. And you begin making your way down this street and then up this way, and you come to the Wachter home. As you approach, night has fallen, and there are, of course, it's a cloudy sky, so there's not much light. There are lamps, lamp posts that have lanterns with glass bulbs around them, and what looks like a fairly healthy reservoir of oil hanging underneath them. and they, produce a kind of a smoky, guttering flame in each one of those. And so it spreads a little pool of light on the street as you walk down the road. And as you get towards this house, you see that this house seems to be disgusted with itself. A slouching roof hangs heavy over furrowed gables, and moss-covered walls sag and bulge under the weight of the vegetation. As you study the house's sullen countenance, you hear the edifice actually groan. Only then do you realize the extent to which the house hates what it has become. And inside, you can see there are some lights. And as you begin to approach and kind of wonder, have we gotten to the right place? The door opens, and one of the two young men that was there at the Blue Water Inn steps out and says, "Oh, there you are. There you are. Please, come on in. Come on in. Mother has been expecting you. She's got dinner almost ready." And so he will stand there and hold the door for you.
Quite the place you have here.
Well, we're an old family, and it's an old house. It is. Whoops. Okay, I've got to make sure that we have this in the. Okay, I'm gonna go. I've got to change the settings on this map. All right. We are going to.
Suddenly, the adventurers were teleported out of Brovia.
Right.
Entered a black hole.
It was compressed to the size of a molecule. But no, guys, this place, what in the... I lean over to Mulek and I say, Mulek, this place keeps getting weirder and weirder and weirder.
Yeah, whatever's going on in this town is not only affecting the people, it's affecting the buildings as well. The colors.
Are you getting any, like, magic sense off this or anything? Like, is this just, like, some big illusion or something?
I don't know. I'll reach down and put on my glasses, and I'll wait. I'll do it as a ritual to detect magic, so it's going to take a while.
Okay.
We can BS for 10 minutes, brother. It's easy.
Well, we just entered the house, so.
Yeah, so you guys are over here. Whoops. Come on. There you go. Then let me get Mulek. And then let me get Salvador. And as we have learned, Paul is not going to be with us tonight, unfortunately. He has a conflict with work, which is, that's a really early shift for him because he's in the UK. So,
yeah.
Well, either he's working really late or he's got to be at work really early. One of the two. All right. So,
yeah, he drank too much at our first Falger's first performance. He got a little ill.
Yeah. So he probably had to go and stay back at the inn. All right. So as you all come into this house, you see the two lads, and one of them brings you in to meet, brings you into the sitting room where you meet their mother. And you see Lady Fiona Wachter. She is a rather severe looking woman, and she has a very well-made, tailored green dress, but it's a muted green. It's not a brilliant green. It's certainly not something that you would expect a Vistani to wear. But it is it's just a very conservative sort of green, and it has a very strange collar on it. The collar has a device where it's got sort of little, almost like little ribs in the collar that flare out from the where the collar comes together in the front towards the back. And as you look at, as you notice that collar, it almost seems like that collar has like scales on it or something. And so she says, welcome to my house. I am Fiona Wachter. My sons told me that you might be coming and that you would grace us with a song or two. I hope that after dinner you will play for us, and I hope that you will enjoy the dinner that my servants have created for us tonight. It is a most wonderful dinner, if I say so myself. And then, go ahead.
Well, it's mighty nice of you to invite us over. It was all this hospitality, and you have a quite charming house, I must say. And I didn't know that their mother was so beautiful.
Oh, you flatter me, sir. And you see this this parlor that you guys are in. There's 3 elegant couches that surround an oval table made of black glass. All are set in front of a blazing hearth, above which hangs the portrait of a smirking nobleman sporting a broken nose and a tangle of hair graying at the temples. Several smaller portraits hang on the north wall.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
And that portrait looks definitely bears a family resemblance to the 2 boys that you met, but kind of like an older version of those 2 boys.
When she was mentioning dinner, did Mulek get any sense that there was some kind of hidden agenda when she's saying about this wonderful meal? Basically, I'm trying to determine whether there's something that we should worry about with the meal, or if it's truly like going to be a good meal and she's treating us as good guests.
Okay. Any of you that want to can make me an insight check on her.
Not again this week.
Oh, jeez.
It was fun playing with you boys.
Yeah, hold on. Give me a second.
Is
not bad.
Faldor. Well, all 3 of you I get the impression that Lady Wachter is more or less on the level. And so another thing that Thaldor, that you notice is, wow, there is a nice aroma. It's like an aroma of roasted
Pork.
a pork roast like you have not smelled in quite some time. Well, I guess it actually wasn't that long ago because you had a nice big banquet in the Underdark at the King's Hold. So, but yeah, it really smells like a very nice pork roast is on, and there's probably some roasting vegetables as well that are in there. And then Lady Fiona spreads her hands at the furniture and says, "Please have a seat. And I will see that Ernst brings some drinks." And she picks up a little bell off of the table and she rings it. It's like a little silver bell. And at that, a gentleman emerges from a side room and comes out, and he says, "Yes, milady." And she says, "Oh, Ernst, please, will you go get some wine for our guests from the kitchen? And check with the girls, see how the dinner is coming." And he says, "Yes, milady, I shall." And so he walks through some doors and heads in here, and you can hear that he's having a conversation with somebody. And there's you hear a little bit of laughter, and it just sounds like kind of the banter of servants, but because you can't really hear what they're saying, but you can just sort of hear the muffled voices. And then after a time, he comes back out with a tray, and on it he has a bottle of wine, and there are 4 glasses. And he says, "The Red Dragon Crush, Lady Wachter?" She says, "Oh, yes, that would be wonderful." And so he then says, "Sirs, will all of you have a glass of wine?"
None for me. Water will do, if that's okay.
Ooh.
Well, I wouldn't want to be rude. I'll take a glass. Thank you.
I'll have a glass as well.
Okay, and he uncorks the bottle, and he pours a glass for Thaldor, pours a glass for Falazur, and then he pours a glass for Lady Wachter. And then he says to Mulek, he says, "I will have David bring you water."
Thank you. I appreciate it. Not to be rude, it's that my body doesn't do well with fine wine, unfortunately.
And Lady Wachter looks at you, and you can see that perhaps there's a bit of pity in her eyes. And she says, "Oh, that is a shame. But yes, we have water." And about the time she says that, a young girl who, dark hair, dark eyes, like the people of this area. And when I say a girl, I mean she's 20-ish. She's a young adult. She comes out and she brings a tumbler that has water in it. And she looks around and she sees that Mulek is the only person that doesn't have a glass, and says, "Sir, were you the one that wanted the water?"
Yes, thank you very much.
You're welcome. And she gives you the glass and she curtsies a little. Then she turns to Lady Wachter and says, "Lady Wachter, Ernst wanted me to tell you it's about 10 more minutes before the dinner will be ready. I believe that Madalena will be serving dinner tonight. We'll see that she is, she comes quickly for the dinner." And Lady Wachter says, yes, that would be fine. Thank you very much, David." And David curtsies a little bit more deeply to Lady Wachter than she did to Mulek, and turns around and goes back into the kitchen. And
while this has been happening, pointed out something kind of strange along her neckline. Like, oh yeah, I mean, Falazir has been kind of like looking, maybe.
okay,
Like,
so go ahead and make
definitely caught his eye.
Yeah, make a perception check. Okay. Very good. Well, you're able to sort of see, you realize that, gosh, if that collar is fabric, it's definitely a different kind of fabric than the rest of the dress. And then you sort of look and you see something glittering right at her throat. And as you look at it, you think that it's a gem for a moment, until suddenly it blinks. And you realize that that little glittering thing is not a gem, but it's an eye.
Ooh.
And then, Lady Wachter has kind of been watching the servant go back to the kitchen. But then Faldor and Mulek, you all see her suddenly smile. And she puts a hand up next to her collar, and her collar just sort of seems to unwind from around her neck, and a most curious little creature crawls onto her hand. And Lady Wachter turns to Falazir and says, "Oh, I see that you have noticed my little Majesto. Do you like him?"
Falazir just kind of like takes an awkward drink out of his wine glass.
And what you all see is, you see a tiny creature that looks like it has kind of a fiendish looking head, and it has the body of the body is probably the size of the body of a gerbil, but in physiology it's more like it seems like it's shaped more like a cat. And there are two leathery scaled wings that fold out from the body, and they have what look like little tiny claws at the very tips of those wings. And then it has a tail that seems almost segmented, and the tail ends in what looks like a scorpion stinger.
Would any of us know what type of what this creature is?
You can certainly make me a nature check to see if you recognize that. 20. Oh, that's pretty good. All right, let's go ahead and oh, come on. Okay. Come on, you've got to tell me. Yes. With a 20. Yes, you know that what this creature is this is an imp. And an imp is sometimes a familiar to wizards, or in some cases, a servant of priests of deities that are located on the Nine Hells.
Generally evil in nature?
Let's put it this way. Most paladins, if they see an imp, they are going to want to kill it without asking questions.
Got it.
But you, from your studies, you know that, well, remember in D&D, evil is more sort of, I'm going to look out for myself before I'm going to look out for others. So it generally is evil, but it's kind of lawful evil. So it would be sort of it would probably be bound to her by something that has the strength of a very well-worded contract.
Okay.
Because imps tend to, like other lawful evil fiends, they tend to be very strict in interpreting exactly what what an agreement or what an instruction means. And this is one of the things that you have noticed that young wizards who think it might be cool to have an imp familiar are often cautioned about that, because imps are famous for interpreting what you say exactly the way you say it. They are going to follow the letter of your instruction, not so much the spirit of your instruction. And if you annoy the imp, it is going to look for any way to sort of turn the letter of your instruction sort of against you, especially if you need help from it, where it might just prefer to watch you fail because you weren't clever enough in the way you worded a request. So it's one of those things like where an imp can be extremely valuable, but you have to be really careful with it.
So I take that if someone's got an imp, they're either dumb or they're very experienced.
Yes.
Okay. And has it been long enough for my detect magic to start working? And do I see anything in the room?
We'll say yes. It's taken a little bit of time, and you start kind of looking around, and Lady Wachter turns back to you, Mulek, and says, "Oh, well, if you are searching for magical items, I'm afraid you won't find many here. At least not in this room. If we become friends, uh, I may have some magical items I can show you all. But it's a little bit early for that." And she just sort of gently strokes the little imp and then sort of gives him a kiss and says, "Yes, Majesto, you tell Mommy everything that you see, don't you?"
Oh, crap. Okay.
And so she kind of gives you a smile, and then she puts her hand back towards her collar, or towards the collar of her dress, and this thing just sort of climbs around and then just sort of wraps around, and then kind of when it lays there, its wings just seem to form the collar of her dress.
No, that's the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Does Thaldor say that? Or is that...
Yeah, I say that out loud. That's the coolest thing I've ever seen.
And Lady Wachter looks and says, "Oh, well, I thank you for the compliment. You all are a curious group of travelers, and curiosity is not a bad thing. The fact that you are curious means that I will take it to mean that you are learners and seekers after something. We should talk over dinner. Perhaps what you are seeking is something I can help with. And perhaps you can help me. We might yet become friends."
I definitely
And-
like new experiences.
Oh. Well, it is possible that before your time in Barovia is through, that you will have a chance to have many new experiences. And she gives you all a bit of an enigmatic smile.
Well, and Mulek's gonna kind of nod at the painting that's on the wall, I guess, and ask, is there a lord of the house?
Oh, yes, the painting. That is my dear husband. That is, what is his name? That is Nikolai. I cherished him so, but I lost him 3 years ago. But now I see him every day.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear. So your son Nikolai, he's junior?
Yes, Nikolai is the firstborn, and Carl and Carl is his brother. They were twins, but Nikolai was born a few minutes before Carl.
You must be proud of your sons.
Oh, they are wonderful. They are my pride and joy.
Well, it's good to have good sons to help you out, especially for someone who's lost their husband.
Yes, you are kind. And then the door from the kitchen pushes open, and you see Ernst emerge, And this time he is joined by another servant. And they bring out, Ernst is bringing out a large platter that has the roast of pork on it. And the other servant is bringing out a dish that has some steaming hot or piping hot vegetables on it. And then David comes out and she's bringing some bread. And they all sort of, get things set on the table, and then they gradually go back into the kitchen. And before Ernst will wait here and say, Lady Wachter, the dinner is served when you and your guests are ready. And she says, oh, thank you, Ernst. Gentlemen, shall we repair to the table?
Ladies first.
Yeah, after you.
Oh, you are very sweet. And then she says, Ernst, will you be a dear and run upstairs and let Karl and Nikolai know that it is time for dinner? And he says, yes, my lady. So he goes up, and a couple of minutes later, he comes back down, and he is trailed by the two young men that you saw before. And so Lady Fiona will go and she will sit at the head of the table over here, and then she will urge you all to sit where, I guess actually Carl will sit on one side of the table and Nikolai will sit on the other, and then leave these other chairs available for the party. So you guys can go ahead and sit wherever, or move your tokens wherever you guys would like to sit.
I look at Mulek and I just whispers, like, sit next to me.
Did we lose James? Oh, okay, there he is. All right.
Yeah, he's here.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right.
And really quick, as we've seen these servants coming and going, do we notice if any of them have that faraway look, kind of zone look, or do they all look normal?
They all look normal.
Okay.
And so Lady Fiona smiles when Falasher comes and sits next to her. And, apparently at one point I saved your token with that stupid prone tag on there. So every time I put it back out on the on the thing, it looks like it's prone again. I'll have to fix that at some point.
He just crawls everywhere he goes.
All right. So this is a good meal. It's a very well prepared meal, and it's tasty, but it's simple. And the thing that is inescapable about this house is age. The tablecloth is an elegant, it looks like an elegant linen that is sewn with some silk thread patterns in the linen. But, and it's in very good condition, but clearly it is ancient. I mean, it just looks like it may have been here for 100 years, if not longer. And the plates are all, and the plates and the dinnerware are all very finely made, but they are very old. And the same goes with the crystal and the stoneware cups, the platters that the food is on, and whatnot. But it smells very good, and Lady Wachter and Nikolai and Carl, they dig into the food, and they eat it up. They eat it readily. So you guys can go ahead and help yourselves and take as much or as little of the food as you want. And as you start eating, Lady Wachter says, "So, tell me, Father Jorizet, how long have you been here in Vallaki, and what do you think of our little town?"
Well, I haven't been here too long. It's quaint, and I find that the people are fair and quick to the point.
Fair and quick to the point. I see. Tell me, have you met our Burgomeister?
We haven't had the honor yet.
And what do you all think of his obsession with festivals?
It's all new to us. It's interesting. I don't know what town wouldn't be excited to have a festival every other week.
And she gives you kind of an enigmatic smile. And she says, well, I think perhaps people would enjoy the festivals more if they were not afraid that failure to attend the festival would mean that Izek Strasny would break down their door and haul them bodily to the festival, and then throw them in the stocks afterward for not contributing to the happiness of the town.
Your sons told us that your household does not attend the festival. Has he come to your house and tried to knock down your door?
No. Izek Strasny is many things, but he is not a fool. I will give him that. My little Majesto may look small, but he possesses a very powerful sting. One that Izek Strasny would not like very much, I think.
So then everyone in this town goes to the festival except for your house?
Yes. And under different circumstances, we might attend. We might had the Burgomeister's no-account son Victor not so disparaged my lovely Stella.
What happened?
Well, the Burgomeister is of the what the hell is his family name? The Burgomeister is Vargas Velakovich. And the Velakovich and the Wachter families are the oldest families in Valaki. And they are the only noble families here. And so, since his son Victor and my daughter Stella were born very close in age, it seemed only right that his parents and my daughter's parents should make an arrangement between the two of them. But as Victor grew, it became obvious to Stella that he was, or shall we say, dull or dim-witted. And she did not have the patience for that. I, of course, advised my daughter that a dull husband can in some ways be better than a very wise husband, because if his wits are dull, he can be encouraged and advised into the correct course of action to take. I believe that I was making some progress with Stella when Victor suddenly announced that he was going to renounce his family's name and go join the monastery. Most unseemly for a man who is an heir to a noble house. And so that meant that the marriage between my Stella and the Burgomeister's Victor was off. And that disappointed me very, very, very much.
Where is Stella today?
Oh, my Stella, she is upstairs. But she has never gotten over the hurt that young Victor gave her. She may never be the same again.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Oh, well, I understand that, at least as my Carl and Nikolai have told me, that you all may have an interest in giving this Burgomeister a bit of a shock, shall we say, at his festival. Boys, did you not say that they were thinking of setting the effigy on fire before the height of the festival? And Carl sort of coughs a little bit, and he kind of blushes, and he says, Mother, we may have said that, yes, but Nikolai looks at him and just like, shh. And she just sort of looks back and forth between the two of them. And then she looks over at Mulek and she says, You, Mulek? What was this that they said at the inn?
Well, I think what your son was trying to say was it was their idea.
Ah. So you boys, you wanted me to believe that we had ready allies in these visitors by telling me that your own ideas actually came from them, when that was not true. Is this the case? And they both put down their utensils and they dab the food at their mouths with their napkin. And then they look at their mother and they nod and they say, "Yes, mother." And she says, "I think perhaps you should go to your rooms and think about what you have said. But first apologize to these men." They look at you and they kind of give sheepish little apologies. And then they excuse themselves and they get up and they kind of sullenly walk upstairs. And she says, so I am sorry about this. You know now where I stand on the matter of the Burgomeister. Had I known that my children had misled me, I might have probed a bit more for your true feelings before presuming that you felt as we do. But tell me, where you come from, have you ever heard of something so preposterous as throwing festivals and then forcing people to attend, whether they want to or not?
Sounds to me like a wedding, but just every week.
A wedding? Well, normally a wedding is a festive occasion. And normally people want to attend, but do you suppose that every former boyfriend or girlfriend of the principal's should be forced to attend a wedding when a former flame of theirs gets married? That would seem a little bit cruel to me. That sort of seems like what our Burgomeister does. He requires attendance, and then he sends his goon, Isaac Strasny, to enforce that requirement. To drag people from their homes if they do not show up, and then place them in stocks for dragging down the morale of the town.
I mean, that seems a little insane, but
Thaldor. So at least one of you has some sense. This is good to see. Well, I was going to make you an offer, and I still will. And the reason I will make you an offer is that I do not care much whether you tell the Baron about my offer or not. I'm sure he suspects that I have my eyes on him. What I would like to do is I would like to know what it is that you all want the most. And if it is in my power, I will work to help you achieve that. If you will help me disgrace the Baron, or the Burgomeister, at this next festival. So, Daldor, what is it that you all want?
Well, your lady, that's a loaded question.
Is it now?
Yes, ma'am, it is. Because wants and needs are two different things. I need to go home, like my compatriots here too as well. And I might want other things, but I have more of a need to go back to the Sword Coast.
Ah. Yes. I like this. I like this about you, sir. You do know the difference between wants and needs. And you understand truly what is a need. And what may seem so tempting that it feels like a need when it is really something that you can live without. Because you lived without it before you ever knew it existed. I like the way you think. And the others of you, would you also agree that your greatest need is to get home? Away from Barovia?
I mean, I suppose that would be a fair statement.
Well then, I may just know a way. And if you will help me with a small task that I would ask of you, then I will do what I can to help you find a way home.
Insight check.
I was about to
All right.
say,
Wow, 221s. Yeah,
And a 23s.
yeah, she is on the level.
Hmm.
She is on the level here. And she says,
this is weird that everyone's been on the level.
she says, I live to please my lord Strad, the ruler of Barovia. And I know two needs that he has. And one of those needs is something that you all can do directly for me and indirectly for him. A second need is one that perhaps you all can accomplish for him directly. I can help to make the introduction and let him know of your participation in an act that would bring a smile to my Lord Strad's heart. You see, the Burgermeister is a fool. He opposes our Lord and Master, Strad. He believes that there is something wrong with our Lord.
Whatever would that be?
I don't know what he thinks is wrong with our Lord. I know that what ails our Lord the most is a broken heart. And I know that he has recently become aware that beyond the mists, his love has been found. And what he requires is he requires someone to bring her to him. Now, if you help me by sabotaging this foolish festival of the sun in some way, either by setting fire to this straw effigy they are building ahead of time, or by making it so wet it will not burn at all, or by making it so combustible that it explodes and embarrasses the Burgomeister, well, any one of those would do. And I will then get you an invitation to dine at my Lord Strahd's table. And he can see that you are able to return to your world.
He has the power to allow people to leave and come in freely?
There is a pact, yes, that he has. His servants can take you beyond the mists.
DM, what do we know if we tried to leave ourselves to go out into the mist? Do we know anything about that, or have we not asked that question?
I don't think you've ever asked that question.
But I'm about to. My lady, explain to me, what would happen if we tried ourselves to go out beyond the mist?
Well, 9 times out of 10, you would walk into the mist would swallow you, and you would be lost in the mist, and you, even with perfect senses, you would walk in a straight line, and when the mist finally parted and emerged, you would find yourself not far from where you entered the mist. It is a mist that swallows you and regurgitates you. That is 9 times out of 10. The 10th time, you would walk into the mist, and perhaps days, perhaps weeks later, your mangled remains would be found by some traveler or hunter somewhere in the valley. What it is that roams the mists and hunts those that are foolish enough to go into it unbidden, nobody can say for sure. But enough have died that way that we know it exists. I, for one, have no desire to find out what it is.
Thank you for that information. I look over at Mulek with my eyes just wide, like, holy shit.
Lady Wachter, I have 2 questions.
Yes.
First question. What can you tell me regarding the townspeople? Half of the population appear to be a little off.
You speak of the soulless.
Yes. What can you tell me about them?
They are a very sad. They are a very sad lot of people. Barovia is an old land, an ancient land. All Barovians are flesh and blood. We are born, we live, we age, we die. But because of the history of our land, the pain, the warfare, the terror that has made Barovia what it is, there are only enough souls for about half of the people in Barovia at any one time. Scholars say that when a person such as you or I that has a soul dies here in Barovia, it remains in the mist until it is born into a new body. But when there is a birth and there is not a soul awaiting in the mist for it, that child is born without a soul. And it simply lives as a shell.
I'm going to insight check that to see if that's what she truly believes.
Okay.
Ouch.
Yeah, you believe it hook, line, and sinker. It sounds reasonable to you.
Okay, that's interesting. Second question. You mentioned this love of Strahd. Does this love want to be with Strahd?
Oh. Yes, of course. Of course. My Lord Strahd, he loves one woman, and one woman only. And for her, he would make Barovia a paradise. And yet, because of the scheming, the twisted plots of his jealous brother, and the deceit of the faithless clergy, she was ripped from my lord's hands, and she was slain.
Wait, his love was slain?
His love was slain.
So how are we to return his love to him?
His love is a very special woman, just as my lord is a very special man. They are ancient souls. They are souls that have always been together, are always meant to be together. And yet, the curse that made Barovia what it is today has eternally separated Strahd from his beloved. In the world beyond the mists, his beloved is born and goes through life with a sadness she cannot identify and a melancholy that she cannot escape. Perhaps she marries, perhaps she doesn't. Perhaps she has a family, Perhaps she doesn't. But eventually she dies. Alone. Hurting. With an ache that was with her from birth. That has never been fulfilled her entire life. Because the soul that hers is meant to be with is locked away. She is born again. She blossoms into womanhood even now. If you can find her and bring her to Barovia and help her be wed to my Lord Strahd, then Barovia will become a paradise. And the long nightmare of our dear beloved Lord Strahd and the land that he rules will come to an end.
Yeah, I had rolled an insight. I guess I should have called it. I don't know. What do I think? I'll roll again. What do I think about all this? You should say.
No. That's fine. You're listening to her story. She believes what she's saying. Now, objectively, is it true? You have no way of knowing it, but she believes it's true.
You mentioned a brother. Are you saying that the Burgomeister is Strahd's brother?
Oh, no. No. The traitor Sergei, he was executed, as he should be, for his crimes.
What did he do that was so deserving of death?
She looks down and she puts a hand to her chest, and she seems very troubled. She says, He ravished the woman that was intended to be my Lord Strahd's bride. Ravished her and convinced a priest that they should be married in secret. And he kept her prisoner. And when she fled, she finally broke free and fled to run tell my Lord Strahd. His soldiers rode her down and killed her. Sergei should never have been born. The world would have been a better place without him in it.
As she tells his story, Mulek sort of nods in understanding.
And she says, It is a terrible, sad thing to see such a noble and wonderful creature as our Lord Strahd driven. Can you imagine the hurt he must have felt knowing the betrayal of his brother and then having to give the order to put his own brother to death? Would that not tear any man apart?
No one should have their love taken from them.
Yes, you understand. This is true.
I mean, just to play the devil's advocate here, like you're absolutely sure that's the way it went down? Like maybe perhaps she fell in love with his brother, and then he found out about it, and he got really pissed and jealous, and then he just fucking killed him.
That is a dangerous line of thought. No, that could not be.
I'm just asking because, I like to write songs and things like that. I just wanted to make sure that, when I write my song about your wonderful Lord Strahd, the magnificent creature he is, I just wanted to make sure that I wrote a song that was just as magnificent.
Yes, you can be assured that my Lord Strahd is a man of his word. He is an honorable and fair and just ruler. He is beloved by those who are true Barovians. Only fools like the Burgomeister oppose him.
This pork is really good. I know nobody's mentioned, but your servant's a very good cook.
Oh, well, thank you very much. They would be pleased to hear that. I will have to tell my sons, for they are in charge of being sure that the animals are fed correctly and are normally the servants are sent to clean the pens, but since they have lied to me, I think perhaps a month of my sons having to roll up their sleeves and clean the pens of the animals, that may teach them to tell their mother the truth in the future.
Little hard work never killed nobody.
No, this is true. So tell me, Falijor, I do not want to impose, but I have been told that you are quite a musician. Would you mind playing a tune for myself and my servants?
Would not mind doing that.
Well, another
Later
little
this
bell,
evening,
and
if
she
you like.
rings it. And Ernst comes out again and says, "Yes, Lady Wachter." Yes, Ernst. You can clear the dinner dishes and bring us the dessert, and you can tell the girls that Falijor uh, will be gracing us with a song later. So they should be prepared to come and listen. And he says, "Oh, very well." And she said, "And of course you should come and listen as well, Ernst." And he bows to her and says, "Oh, very well. Thank you, Lady Wachter." And then he goes in here, and the girls come out and they take the dishes, and a few minutes they bring out what looks like some kind of a berry cobbler. It's like either looks like it's probably a mix of like raspberries and blackberries and blueberries with a very flaky crust on it. And there's they bring out some tea, and they bring out some coffee, hot tea and hot coffee. And the cobbler is still kind of warm from the oven. And it's very good, very sweet.
each time these servants come in, Mulek's just going to pay extra special attention to them to see if they give any kind of, I don't know, signal or, that some, maybe one of them wants to say something, but they can't.
Okay. All right. So when they come in, you can go ahead and give a perception check. So make a perception check while they're clearing the dishes and doing stuff like that. See if you. Oh, wow.
There's that good roll.
That is a very good roll.
The reason why I'm doing this is because I just get the feeling that this Lady Wachter is very controlling, controls the household and has strong opinions. And I just want to, I'm just looking for anything where the servants might want to be like sending a signal or anything.
Okay. You watch them very closely. The girls, the two women, servants, they just go about their tasks and they seem, they just seem dutiful servants and very pleasant in their manner, but they don't, they don't betray anything other than that. Ernst, however, every time he enters, he is sort of studying all three of you very carefully. And he does a pretty good job of hiding that. But your 22 perception, you can tell that he's kind of studying you in the way that you might study somebody that for right now everything is okay, but someday you may have to fight them. And so you kind of want to know what they're capable of. It's that kind of study that he's doing. It's very tactical, sort of.
Okay.
And but he doesn't say anything other than to answer any questions of Lady Wachter or ask you if you all are done with a plate or something, and he takes it away and he gives a little smile as he does. And then Lady Wachter will, after a bit, she will suggest that maybe you all retire to the couches, or actually retire to the sitting room, and that she will call for the servants. So she rings the little bell again, and she points over here towards the sitting room. And so, yeah, you go in here into this area, and let's see. Okay. Wood paneling, embroidered rugs, colorful furnishings, and a blazing fire make this chamber stifling. Mounted above the mantel is an elk's head. Across from the hearth, tall, slender windows look out over dead gardens. And you see that there's some very nice. There's a very nice goblet that looks like it's made of gold. There's a crystal wine decanter There are candelabras that look like they're made of either silver or a similar material. And then there's a very fancy bronze urn over in one corner. Right, so everybody starts to move in there, and then Ernst comes out, and now not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 servants follow follow Ernst out, and they kind of come over here, and yeah, it kind of looks crowded, but people don't take up all that much room. Tokens, I think, are larger than the actual people are. So it's a cozy little area in there, and Lady Wachter eventually comes in, and then Falliger, you have an audience. Apparently the daughter isn't here and the 2 sons are not here, but these 5 servants in your party and Lady Wachter are all here. So what would you play? Would you play
What would the fair lady like me to play this evening? Her choice.
and Lady Wachter says,
Do you want something a little bit romantic, sad, happy, cheerful? What are you thinking?
and she says, well, if I may say so, Amalthea is a lovely dancer. Play something that the girls can dance to. And Ernst, you should feel free to dance as well if you wish.
All right. I think I can handle that.
Okay.
Felliger brings out his guitar and he just gets right into it.
Okay. Go ahead and make a performance check. Just to see how well this goes. Oh, that's really good. And this room is a very lively room. It doesn't take but about 2 or 3 chords, and the smiles start to blossom on the faces of the people. And you get about halfway through a verse, and heads are bobbing, and after a bit, if it's the kind of song that's appropriate, hands will start clapping, and then by the time you get to the first refrain, then a couple of the girls will start dancing, and then the other 2 girls, they join in, and then one of them will pull Ernst over, and it's kind of like the dance they do is kind of like one of those folk dances where groups of people will dance together. And it's not like not like hanging all over each other type of dancing. It's just sort of a nice folk dance type of thing that you might see. And even Lady Wachter has a smile, and Thalidor and Mulek, you guys don't have to make perception checks, but you can see that the little imp, its little stinger tail, it's just sort of beating time with the music against Lady Wachter's shoulder. It's apparently, kind of enjoying this as well. So everybody seems to be enjoying the music.
I lean over to Thalidor and say, Falliger never disappoints.
That is
And
true.
They so how long, Falliger, would you play? Would you play a few songs, or would you
Play a good 30 minutes at least, you know?
Oh, okay. All right. So, yeah, by that time, the people that have been dancing, they're just sort of working up a nice little sweat and everything. And they're all very much enjoying this very much enjoying your playing your music. And they will then actually, Ernst will say, "Oh, well, if we're going to have much more of this music, we'll have to get some drinks." And Lady Wachter says, "Whew, yes, it is a bit warm in here. Normally I don't notice it, but then normally there aren't so many folk in here. Yes, let's go back out to the parlor. And Ernst, bring us some wine." And so he will excuse himself, and the servants will all bob a curtsy to Salinger, and they will smile and say that he plays wonderfully, and then they will sort of head on back to wherever they head to, all except for Ernst and Madalena, who will then bring out fresh goblets and new bottle of wine, and they will, and then Madalena will bring out a tumbler with water as well for Mulek, and they will set those on that little black table in the parlor, and Lady Wachter will go out to the parlor as well. She's got a little glisten from the heat is on her.
Well,
before you leave me, I got to talk to you for a second.
Okay.
So wait a minute, DM. I know that she's saying that she can see everything in this house with the imp, so she can see and hear everything we say.
Well, an imp is actually Mulek would know because he figured out what it is. An imp is a fiendish creature, so it's from other planes, and it has some innate abilities. Some fiends have the ability to innately detect magic, and some have the ability to innately see invisible things or see through illusions. Those types of things. So, it's doubtful that this creature has telepathic ability to know what people are thinking and to be able to see every possible thing. But it probably is a pretty keen observer of anything that just seems out of place or out of the ordinary.
Got you. So I'll walk over to Mulek. Falliger, give me a second. Can you go entertain our guest just for a minute? Because even though we're guesting her home, she has a fancy for you.
Sure. And he goes over. He's like, let me show you something that I haven't shown very many people before.
Oh my goodness. That sounds so wrong in so many ways.
So she will ask you to sit ask you to sit there with her, and so you start talking with her. All right, guys, go ahead.
Mulek, so I take an action and I take my ring of mind melding and I show it to him. I make it flash up on my hand. You might be magical, but I have a few tricks up my sleeve. You see this ring, right?
Yeah.
Okay, hear me out. If anything happens to me, if I die, if anything happens that I die, take this ring off my finger, put it on yours. Okay, I'm gonna let you know right now what happens. My soul will be not trapped, but I will inhabit this ring, so I will be able to talk to you telepathically. But take my body too, wherever we go, and see if you can't bring me back. If Falliger can't, and wherever we go, something were to happen and I can't be brought back immediately, I will keep my soul in this ring until we can, bind it to my body. So just take it off my finger if I'm to die and put it on your hand. It's very important to me that you do this. Plus, while wearing it, nothing can telepathically read your mind.
Okay. You get my word.
I just want to make sure that either I'm getting out of this place. This place freaks me the hell out. I'm getting out of this place, whether I'm on your finger or I'm walking. We're getting out of here.
Yeah, well, there is a creepy imp around her neck. So, yeah, beware of that.
Hide the ring. I use an action, make the ring go back invisible. You can do that as well, so nobody can. He probably can see. I don't know. What is imp? Can imp see that? But anyways, here. I'm showing you. You can turn it invisible, so nobody knows you have it. You're wearing it. I know you've probably never seen it on my hand, but just be mindful. Let Falliger in on it. If something's to happen to me, let him know you have that contingency plan in place to get me out of here, no matter what.
Yeah, understood. And that imp can probably see the glowing stuff all over us, so it's going to be hard for us to hide anything from this Lady Wachter. So we have to play it pretty cool.
Oh, yeah. Well, Falliger's Captain Charisma. I think we'll be all right.
Yeah, let's hope he keeps it up.
Exactly. So we walk into the other parlor. We walk out.
Okay. Falliger, when you walk over to start to talk with Lady Wachter, she reaches up to her collar and she places a hand on her imp, which uncoils and it crawls onto her hand. And then she holds her hand out, or she holds her hand up in front of her face, and she says, Majesto, I think we will be fine. Why don't you go be a good dear and check on the boys? And so it kind of looks at her. It doesn't say anything, but she nods, and then it spreads its little wings and it flies, and it goes up the stairs towards the second floor. So, for whatever it's worth, Falliger, she seems like if you and she are going to talk, she's not going to have her imp there. At least not obviously there eavesdropping. So you are going to show her something. I presume show her something on the instrument or something like that.
Yeah. Have you ever played one of these, my lady?
No, I have not. But you play marvelously.
What if I told you I could, in less than 5 minutes, I could teach you how to play a song? You think I could do it?
Well, that would be quite a trick. But I will give it a go.
All right. Well, he kind of like slides in behind her a little bit, and he puts the guitar in her hands, and he places his hand on hers, and he lifts her fingers up and he puts it on a note, and then he takes the other hand and puts it on higher up on the guitar.
Uh-huh. Oh, you have such strong hands. They're warm too.
All right, now you hold down on this, and we're gonna move this, and he like moves his thumb on with her thumb, and then he just keeps mimicking that, and then he's like he sings with her. He as he's playing, he's like, "Twinkle, twinkle, little star," and he kind of goes through the whole song.
And she starts to kind of laugh a little bit, and she says, "Oh, oh, this is, I don't believe it. I'm actually playing music. Oh, this is nice. Well, Felicia, you are a very nice young man. If I didn't know any better, I would almost think you were flirting with me."
Adam, I always flirt.
Oh, well, so, Felicia, where are you and your friends staying? Are you staying at that awful Blue Water Inn? Or do you have other lodging arrangements?
Well, I think we were just gonna stay at the inn. Nothing too special.
Oh well, we have a big house here. It is possible that you and your friends might be able to stay here with us if you would like.
Well, I mean, I'd have to ask my companions, and I'll get back to you on that one.
Oh, certainly. Carl and Nikolai, they have rooms that are too big and too good for them. One of your friends could stay in Carl's room, and one of your friends could stay in Nikolai's room.
Kind of looks in her eyes and he says, "Well, it is going to be quite cold, wet tonight. It would be nice to have a place where one could share company with someone."
Oh my god.
And she actually blushes a little bit.
Much better than that jury inn down the road.
Oh, yes, much better than the Dreary Inn.
I don't know. Sure is tempting, though.
Well, I think your friends are there now, she says, sort of pointing across the towards the dining room where Thaldor and Mulek have emerged. You should check with them and see if it's okay.
All right. If you'll excuse me. And he gets up.
Of course.
Walks over. Kind of leans in. Was that enough time for you?
Oh, perfect, buddy. He'll let you know if, and I lean into Faliger, if things go to shit, Mulek will let you know what's going down.
Well, I think that we're being asked to stay the night here, and not sure a no is an appropriate answer.
Can I do a perception to see if I look at Faliger and look back at her? Does he see that look on my face? Like I look at her and I look at Faliger like, just see.
You can do a perception, yes.
At 20.
Wow. Okay. Then I will let Falisher tell you what you perceive about him. But as for Lady Wachter, you see that she's sort of checking out Falliger as he's over talking to you two.
Sorry, I'm just rolling.
I mean, I told her we were staying at the inn, and I'd have to ask you, but she seems pretty adamant about it. I don't know. If you ask me, this place gives me the creeps.
I whisper in Elvish real quick. I'm sorry. Whisper in Elvish to him real quick and go, Valger, I think she wants a little bit of your personal alone time. You know what I mean?
What makes you say that? Hell, all I did was teach her how to play Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star.
I think that's the most action, and I put up quotations, action, she's seen in a long time. So, we might be able to get on this woman's good side if you play along, I'm doing air quotes, and, give her a little company for the evening, Didn't say you had to sleep with her.
Why you always put me in these positions?
Well, buddy, you probably put yourself in many different positions.
I personally don't feel too comfortable staying here the night. If we do, I don't know. It's not going to be very restful for me.
Oh, it's a hard job, but somebody's got to do it. And he turns around, he walks over. My lady, my companion said they would be honored to stay here this evening.
Oh, that is wonderful. That is wonderful. Well, then I shall send Ernst up to I shall send Ernst upstairs to let Nikolai and Carl know that they must vacate their rooms. And
well, me and Mulek can share a room. If you say it's that big, we can share a room if that's fine.
Well, that would be unseemly. I mean, each of them only has one bed in their room.
Well, I can sleep on the ground. It's fine. It's okay.
Well, perhaps then. All right. And she picks up a little bell, rings it, and Ernst comes back out of the kitchen. Yes, my lady. And she tells him to go get go tell Carl that he must stay in Nikolai's room tonight and be sure that he cleans up his room and tell and then that you need to, or you Ernst need to help them prepare her room. And he says, "Oh yes, my lady." And so he disappears. He goes upstairs. And so then she will walk over to Falliger, and she will say, "Well, that is well done."
Did we lose Gally for a second?
Yeah, I think so.
Uh oh.
She walks over and what?
Wait, am I back now?
You're back. Yeah.
Okay. She walks over. And she tells Falliger, "Oh, I hope you will teach me more of these songs this evening."
Well, I'm sure I could give you a more hands-on lesson.
And she says, "Oh, I would like that very much." And she sort of puts her arm through the crook of Falliger's elbow, and she will begin to lead him upstairs.
Oh, if you might, my lady, I would like to use your bathroom. And I'll be up shortly.
Oh, but of course. And
I think the wine has gotten to me a little bit, if you know what I mean.
oh, well, just hope you have not drunk too much. She gives a little laugh. And so then she looks to the other two and she says, come, lads, I will show you the room that you can use for the evening.
Thank you, milady.
And oops, oh gosh, come on, area. No. This is just super annoying. I don't know why. There we go. I don't know why they make this so difficult. But they do. Alright, so you guys head upstairs. And let me grab the 2 tokens here.
I'll use the privy, and then I'll make my room up to the guy's room before, and I'll go in and I'll close the door behind me.
Okay, and they she shows you this room here that you guys can share.
Mulek, if you
Right.
want the bed, I will take the floor. It's okay.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Okay.
Which token is mine? There's 2 tokens. Which one do I pull out?
What about that one?
Palliser comes in and closes the door. Boys, I don't know what the hell I got myself into, but if you don't hear from me in 6 hours, then assume the worst.
I think you can handle yourself, big guy. I was going to say, I know what you might be getting into later.
I just want to point out that, as he kind of whispers, hasn't it struck you kind of boys kind of odd that this house is really old? Do you see how old the dishes were? Like,
Yeah, I did notice that.
so old that it doesn't make sense for her to even. Well, let's just say that I don't think the age. Oh, I can't talk. Shit, the wine. Whew, I think that age doesn't match up. I don't know what that means exactly, but it just.
Would we know? I mean, or should I roll
right
for it about vampires? I mean, would we know? Is that a history check?
Well, it would be kind of a nature check, I guess.
Nature. Okay.
Yeah. Has anybody mentioned vampires to you?
There you go.
I mean, I feel like as a cleric, I would have an idea, but honestly, that's not even on his radar right now for whatever reason.
It's on Thalor's radar. Once you started saying all that, I'm trying to put pieces together in my head of like maybe things I've studied, maybe things I've read. I mean, I'm not no cleric, but I mean, I would know stories.
Well, okay. The thing is, there's really nobody has talked about undead at this point. So, it feels a little bit meta that you guys realize as player. Okay, somebody has an open mic. Please Please close your mic.
Who has an open mic? Is it me? No.
I think it might
I
have been
don't
James
know.
by accident.
No, it
Oh.
was me. Sorry.
Okay.
I was just pointing out something strange, like because like when we walked in that house, like when we walked up to the estate, everything was really weird and older than it just didn't look very upkept. Everything in the house just looked like really old. So I was just
if Thaldor is thinking vampires, and if he's thinking specifically here in this house, it doesn't quite track.
Well, I mean, the aesthetic, okay. Like, I'm just thinking, because as Falliger's talking, when I'm not trying to meta, but as Falliger's talking, when I'm putting through in my head, as I'm thinking, James's mic is still up. There it goes. Sorry, James. But no, as I'm thinking, he's we've all got an eerie feeling walking in the door. Like Thaldor had a really eerie feeling. And then just like, talk the way she's talking, the things that just, I mean, I'm trying to figure out a way that would make this make sense. Like he's saying everything seems way outdated than what it is. She talked about the soulless people. She, what is her appearance? Does she look human? Does she look really pale? I mean, does she look like gaunt, pale? What does she look like age-wise? Does she look like she's in her 40s, her 60s? Like what? Like
Probably given the nature of life expectancy of humans, she probably looks like she's in her late 50s or maybe early 60s.
Oh God.
Okay. So she's she's old enough to have adult children who, her sons are in their 20s. And her husband, whose portrait is up there, is graying at the temples, and now he's deceased. So,
nothing
at the time
of that seems foul play.
Yeah, at the time that was painted, he was probably in his 50s or so. So you don't know how long he's been dead. I don't think she mentioned how long he's been dead, but.
I think she said 3 years.
3 years. Okay. So, yeah. So if that was painted recently before he died, then she's probably close to his same age. She might have been a few years younger than he was, but.
Okay. So then, the whole vampire thing would be thrown out the window then. But things just look creepy because everything's old. But,
it's an old family.
Right, that's what I was going to say. I was thinking passed down, like things were passed down through the generations.
Yeah.
So I that makes more sense now. It's like, well, Falliger, it could just be that this stuff's been passed down for generations. We don't know, how long it's been here. I've seen old houses and old things that were passed down family to family. So, it makes sense. I'm not going to lie to tell you this whole place is creepy as shit, but it makes sense. So,
that's why Falliger is saying something, because he's like, this place is creepy as fuck. And I seem to have gotten into a situation that might make it worse if I just say no. So,
well, I understand.
If you don't hear from me, then come looking.
Just throw up on yourself.
There you go. Then just go to say, I got to run to the restroom and clean yourself up,
All right. So, when you emerge from the room with the guys, you see that Lady Wachter is standing across the hall at the door to another room, and she pushes that open, and you can see evidence that this is a well-appointed master bedroom. And so then as you come out to that, as you go into that room, you see something kind of unexpected. You see that across from the door, a fire sputters and struggles for life in the hearth, above which hangs a framed family portrait. Noble father and mother, their 2 young sons and a baby daughter in the father's arms. The sons are smiling in a way that suggests mischief. The parents look like uncrowned royalty. Wood paneling covers the walls of the room. A closet and a framed mirror flank a curtained window to the south. To the north, a wide canopied bed lies pinned between matching end tables with oil lamps.
Mhm.
Stretched out on one side of the bed is a man dressed in black, his eyes each covered with a copper piece. He bears a striking resemblance to the father in the painting.
Oh my God.
Who does?
The man with the copper pieces over his eyes laying in the bed.
I know we don't see this, but oh my God. DM, you're telling me she's left that body in the bed for 3 years? Oh, God.
And then Lady Wachter closes the door behind Faerun.
Well, Fallinger hasn't pissed his pants. He sure is now.
I bet he is.
I mean, I'm not grasping the situation.
You're in a room with a dead body in the bed.
Oh my God.
You don't see the picture on the screen?
Yeah,
That's
Fallinger.
insane.
Yeah. Okay.
And then Faerun, there's a knock at the door.
Uh huh.
And Lady Fiona opens it, and Ernst is there, and Lady Fiona says, "Oh, Ernst, will you carry Nikolai in with the boys? I need the room to myself."
Oh my God.
And
Oh my goodness.
so he goes over, and he
Dark. So dark.
stands beside the bed, and he just sort of nods very respectfully at the man and reaches out and picks up the 2 copper pieces and puts them in a breast pocket. And then he very gently picks up the man from the bed and lays him over his shoulder, sort of fireman carry like, and he goes back out and goes up the hall and goes into this other room up here. Goes out the hall, goes up here, and then goes into this room.
Oh my goodness.
And as he leaves, then Lady Wachter closes the door and says, "Now, Faerun, we have the room to ourselves."
Yes, indeed, we do.
Talking about awkward. Faerun, what's going through your head right now? That's an ominous voice talking to you. What the hell's going on through your head?
He's like, all right, I guess tonight's taking one for the team.
You've got Galley rolling. Jeez, this is great.
Well, he's back on his hands and knees again, so
Yeah, that's probably from shock.
He looks at the lady. He says, like, do you have any nightcap? Perhaps would be nice, I think.
And she has a decanter, and she's got some strong whiskey in it, and she pours little glass for yourself and for her, and she says, "Oh yes, here we go." And so then she will go and she will sit on the side of the bed here. And I guess actually,
Fellas are going to sit on this side.
Okay.
Whatever.
All right.
Whatever.
All right.
And he kind of reaches for his guitar and he's, well, it's been a while since I gave such a in-depth lesson. But do you prefer it hard or soft?
And the curtain closes on the night.
And he says, I mean the strings. If you loosen them, they're
All
easier
right.
to play. I think if they're looser, it's softer. You know what I mean?
Okay. Well, we will leave you with Lady Fiona, Theodore, and Mulek.
I'm going to try to keep a straight face right now.
You guys are over here. Okay, this bedroom. Please. Mulek or James, on this computer, you cannot leave the mic open because there's an echo that all the rest of us can hear. You probably can't hear
All
it.
right. Sorry, I don't hear it. Yeah, sorry.
Okay. This bedroom contains nothing out of the ordinary: a neatly made bed, a table with an oil lamp on it, a handsome wooden chest, a slender wardrobe, and a window box with drapes. So it's it's kind of quiet in here and everything, and there's plenty of room. It's a comfortable looking bed. This is, it's not a 21st century thing, so it's probably a bed that's stuffed with things like a mattress that's stuffed with I don't know what it would be stuffed with, but it's something comfortable. Straw probably is what it would be stuffed with. So it's a rather firm mattress, but comfortable by medieval standards. And there's a rug on the floor that is large enough to lay on, and everything looks clean in here. Seems like it's kept very tidy. And the bed is made nicely, so that whoever is going to sleep there's no issue with that. So what are you guys going to do?
Hopefully, Falliger is just thinking in the midst of all this insanity, he's like, God, I just hope that Falador and Mulek take the opportunity to explore this creepy old fucking house.
You were one step ahead of me. Of course, that was my plan.
Do I notice if the imp is in the room with us?
Make a perception check.
Probably something I should have looked into before everything went to black.
Well, he's a pervert.
Who, the imp?
Yeah.
You don't notice.
I'm
anything.
severely distracted.
Yeah, you're very distracted. Although you notice now, sitting there on the bed, you notice that the bed has a very perfume scent.
Okay, that's enough. We faded to darkness.
Yep. Okay. All right. Yes. So
Hello,
Mulek and
darkness,
Theodore,
my old friend. I'm sorry. No, so as I'm talking with Mulek, I'm going to sleep on the floor. Mulek can have the bed, but I discussed with Mulek. I'm like, Mulek, we might need to do some snooping around to see if there's things we can learn while she's distracted. Captain C took one for the team this time again, but that's why he's Captain C. But I think we need to do some investigating around this place while we have the opportunity to do so.
You guys hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah,
now I can hear
yeah.
you.
All right. I don't know about wandering this house. I don't know where that imp is, and I'm not. I mean, are you wanting to go out and like look in these rooms?
I mean, if you want me to, I mean, I could. I mean, you have sending prepared, right?
Yeah, I was planning on sending a Benedom some messages actually tonight.
Oh, good old Uncle Benedom. It's been a while. Tell him I said hello. But my thing is this. I need to search and see if I can find out some things. And if somebody catches me, I say I got lost.
All right, that's fine. You want to do that? I've can work on what I had planned.
I'll be back. If I'm not back in an hour, send me a message.
Okay, we'll do.
Okay, so I'm going to go snooping while Mulek does what he needs to do.
Okay. All right. So let's start with Thaldor. Thaldor, make me a stealth check and tell me which way you're going when you get out in the hall.
Twenty. I'm going to take a left because I know they went in the room straight across from me. So I'm going to take a left.
Okay. Going left out of the room, there is a door here, and then there are double doors here. Then there's obviously the stairwell going down, and there are doors here, or there is a door here.
Is that a window right there?
That is a window, and
Okay.
there is a window at this end too.
Okay. I'm going to press my ear to the door right here and see if I hear anybody on the other side of the door.
Okay. Okay. There's a as you listen, there's a strange sound. It's like something is scuttling across the floor in that room.
Sorry, I was reading what Ken put. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I want to go in that room because Lord knows what would be there. So I'm going to move up here and go to this door right here and listen.
Okay. In that room, you hear through the door, you hear the voice of Ernst. And he has a low, sort of lecturing tone. You hear the words pens and muck and month, and then you hear, "No, your mother has already decided."
So I take it Ernst and the boys are in this room.
Okay.
I'm thinking, hold on. If I know they're in there, I'm going to just knock on the door and see if I can get a glimpse inside the room when they come to open the door. I'm going to ask Ernst if he can bring me and Mulek a glass of water or milk or something to our room or something just to, try to get him to leave.
Okay. All right. So let's see.
Yeah, I just rap on the door and hello,
All right. So you knock on the door, and the door opens, and indeed you see Ernst in there, and the two boys, and laid out on the floor in the corner is a body. And that body looks very much like the man that you saw in the painting downstairs above the hearth. And he's got what looks like copper coins covering his eyes. And Ernst says, "Oh, yes, sir. How can I help you?"
Excuse me, Ernst. Hello, boys. Excuse me, Ernst. Would you mind grabbing me and Mulek a beverage, maybe some milk or some water for our nightcap, if you don't mind?
Oh, certainly. I will. I will go down and fetch that. If you will notice, by the bed there is a little bell. If you ring that bell, it will alert the servants downstairs that someone in your room needs something, and they will run up to you.
Okay, I didn't mean to interrupt. I just heard voices as I was walking down the hallway to see if I could find someone. But thank you so much, Ernst.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine, sir. And so then he says, "And remember, don't lie to your mother." He shakes his finger at the boys, and then he will wait for you to clear the doorway so that he can go downstairs. So he will head down. He will head on down there.
Nice. I'm not even gonna talk to the boys right now.
Yeah, and Ernst closes the door behind him as he leaves.
Yeah. So as he's gone downstairs real quick, I want to put my ear to this door right here, the double doors.
Okay. And you hear, you listen, and you don't hear anything right away. In there, it seems quiet.
If I try to open the door, will the door open? Or is it locked or anything?
Let me double check. It is locked.
I'm going to try to pick the lock real quick.
Okay.
I think that's sleight of hand, correct?
Yeah, I believe so.
Is that plus my proficiency bonus? So that's +3. Because thieves' tools.
Thieves' tools, right?
Yeah. 17.
17. Let me just double check. And this thing, I think this is one of those things where you have to go to the beginning of it and it tells you what the DC is for all locks. Okay.
Theodore's thinking in his head, I have one hell of a story to tell Mulek when I get back.
Yeah. You know what? I can't find it right now, so I'm just going to rule 17 is pretty good. I think that would probably do it. So,
all right.
You wind up getting the. Come on, you wind up getting the area open. Okay, there we go. And what you see is a library. And this library appears to be absolutely crawling with cats.
Oh my goodness. I thought she might have been a cat lady.
There's no fewer than 8 cats that appear to have the run of this place. The room is crawling with cats. Bookshelves hug the walls, but most of the shelves are bare. Other furnishings include a desk, a chair, a table, and a wine cabinet. The room has an irregular shape, and none of its angles seem quite right, as though the shifting of the house has set the whole place on edge.
Wow. Do I notice anything? I am going to step in the room.
Okay. As you get about halfway over there, there's okay. As you go in, do you leave the doors open? Do you close the doors?
Oh, I close the doors behind me.
Okay, all right. So you close the doors behind you. There's 2 cats that will run up towards you, and they'll sort of do that thing where they sort of rub their head against your ankles. And as you're when you get to a place where you stand, and one of them will sit there and sort of look up at you and go meow.
I throw what I do. I'll take a piece of jerky or something out of my rations and throw it over in this corner, so they all go to that corner, so they're not bothering me.
Yeah. Okay. They all just pounce on that.
Oh yeah.
They kind of all go.
My cat used to love jerky.
I'll go running over there.
So I just want to check the desk and just see if there's anything on the desk.
Okay. The desk contains blank pieces of parchment, quill pens, jars of inks, wax candles, and a wax seal.
Do I notice the logo on the wax seal? Is it of this family?
You would presume it is, but since you haven't seen anything with this family crest on it, you can't say that for sure.
Okay. That's pretty straightforward. This just seems like a writing room or a drawing room to me. So I'm going to sneak my way back out, listen to the door to make sure nobody's coming, and sneak to the other side and back to our room. I don't want to mess with the...
Okay.
Yeah, I'll lock the door behind me when I leave.
Okay. All right. And then you head back over to your room. Mulek,
Yeah.
you have been in here for a few minutes by yourself. While Thaldor has been gone, you hear a tapping on the north wall of the room. It's a little rhythmic tap, tap, tap. And then a little tap, tap, tap.
Is it tapping at the same location on the wall?
Yes. It's about in the center of the wall. I'll say it's about right here.
Does it sound random, or is it like an SOS type thing?
It's... Well, Mulek wouldn't know Morse code, so he wouldn't...
Is there a pattern? Is there a pattern to it, or is it just kind of random?
It's kind of random, but it's definitely intentional.
Okay.
It seems like something is thumping against the wall intentionally. And it's not thumping against the wall like it's trying to come through the wall. It's just sort of like something tapping on the wall.
I guess I'll tap back.
Okay, you tap back and the tapping stops for a moment. And then you hear a sort of scrabbling on the wall. It's not like something is trying to claw its way through. It's just like something is scrabbling on the other side of the wall.
Like scratching, or kind of like writing?
Make a perception check. 17. You think it would be more scratching, but if it's scratching, it's kind of like the scratching of fingernails as opposed to scratching of like animal claws.
Okay.
And Thaldor, when you walk into the room, Mulek has his ear pressed up against the wall like he's listening for something.
Oh, Mulek. Pulling a page out of my book, huh?
Come here. Come listen.
Okay, so I come listen. I say, yeah, I listen.
You hear that same scrabbling on the other side of the wall. Go ahead and make a perception check, Mulek. I'm sorry, Thaldor.
There you go.
Okay. You can actually, underneath the sound of the scratching, you can actually hear a voice.
What?
It's a voice, and it's like the voice sounds like a female voice, and it says, "Little kitty doesn't know you. Little kitty doesn't like your smell."
Okay, I tell Mulek that there's some voice in there as well saying the kitty doesn't like you, the kitty doesn't like your smell. That's odd. I did notice when I passed a room to my left going out in the hallway that I heard a scratching noise. And I didn't go in that room for that reason. Something was in there. So, but what do you make of that, Mulek?
I have no idea. I haven't seen any cats in this house.
Oh, let me go ahead and tell you what I learned. Wow. Whoa. While I was out on my adventure. So I say, so besides the scratching in this room right next to us, I imagine, there's a whole library that all the shelves are bare. Like there's nothing on no books, no nothing, which is odd. There's a small wine rack and a desk that's got some, papers, quills, stuff that normally you'd write letters with, right? But this gets better. So as I go to the room upwards, I would guess to our right, not the one across the hall, but up and to the right, next to the stairs, I heard, what's his name again? Ernst. I was hearing Ernst speaking sternly with the boys about their new punishment, and I made a distraction by knocking on the door so I could see into the room, and I saw something I didn't want to see. Lying there in the corner, remember the painting we saw downstairs?
The one of her husband?
He's dead, all right, but he's still in the house.
Yeah, like I saw an urn downstairs.
No. He's dead, body in house with coins over the eyes, coppers over the eyes, and laying in the boys' room.
Like a skeleton?
No. What would DM? Would he look gaunt, like drawn in like a body would after it's been sitting there for a long time, or does it look well preserved?
It looks like if he died, it looks like he died 5 minutes ago.
No shit. Wow. It looked pretty fresh, which is odd. Like, I mean, you're a man of science. He looked like he died like 5 minutes ago. I'm confused. She said he died 3 years ago, but it looked like he just died 5 minutes ago. So that's a little creepy in itself.
I know that there are ways to preserve bodies if you are trying to bring them back. but didn't she say he died like 3 years ago?
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah, 3 years ago.
Yeah, that seems pretty excessive. But I guess that goes with the rest of the creepiness we're feeling in this whole town.
Exactly. But the library didn't creep me out as much as seeing the body lying on the floor with coppers over the eyes. And they act like, and the weird part was they act like it was nothing. It was really weird. It's like, oh, just laying there, okay. Didn't say anything. I guess they didn't notice that I saw it, but they didn't say nothing. But I asked them to bring us some water or milk up. You see the little bell on the table over there? I did that as a distraction. So we might have somebody knocking on our door maybe in the next 15, 20 minutes bringing us some milk or water.
And indeed, as you, about the time you get the words out of your mouth, you hear knock, 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 a gentle knocking on the door.
I open
the
the
hall.
door. Yeah, I open the door.
And one of the serving maids, it's Madalena. Madalena is there. And she has a platter. And on the platter, there are 2 pitchers. And there's also 2 stoneware cups. And she comes into the room and she sets the platter on the little table over here. And she says, this is a pitcher that has a little bit of milk. I took the liberty of warming it up a little bit for you, since I know that always helps me sleep. And the other pitcher has some water in it. And there are 2 cups here for you. So, is there anything else you require before I retire for the evening?
I'll look over at Mulek. Mulek?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
And then she points to the little bell on the bedside table, and she says, just ring that, and that will let us know in the servants' quarters that you need something, and somebody will come up to you. Don't hesitate any time of night. We are here to serve the Lady Wachter and her guests.
I have one question for you real quick. Do you know what's next door to us? We hear like a scratching noise.
Oh.
I don't want to intrude.
If that's disturbing you, I can... Well, I don't want to disrupt Lady Wachter. If that's disturbing you, I will tell Ernst and have him deal with it.
Okay. That's the best I can say is okay, in a weird tone of voice.
Yeah, you guys would be free to do insight checks on her if you want to.
That's my worst roll of the night. Oh, Mulek.
Mulek, she knows what's in there. Clearly, she doesn't want to say what's in there. And clearly, she is embarrassed that you all have been disturbed by what's in there. And it's her fallback to tell Ernst is, that's probably the servants are told to tell Lady Wachter first and then tell Ernst, but knowing that Lady Wachter is perhaps occupied at the moment, then, if fallback is tell Ernst.
Thank you for your hospitality. We really appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome, sirs. And she bobs a little curtsy, and then she goes off down the hall.
I hope Fallinger's okay.
She will return to the servants' quarters. All right, so you guys are there. What are you going to do? Are you going to go back to listening to the wall, or what?
I guess. Yeah, hold on. Go ahead, Mulek.
did the scratching sound start? Like, did I start noticing that as soon as Thaldor left, or would have I had time to do my sendings once Thaldor left?
No, it was probably not too long before Thaldor got back that you started to hear it. So, how long do your sendings take? Are they just spell slots, or are they rituals that you have to do? I'm not hearing you, James, if you're trying to answer.
No, they're spell slots. I was just pulling it up, but I accidentally exited Roll20. I think it just takes an action.
Okay, yeah. It just takes an action. So, you would have plenty of time to send those. Let me check. Okay, I don't think you sent anything in Discord to say what those messages were. Okay.
I was going to put it in Roll.
Oh, okay. That's fine. So you would have had time to send those before you heard the scratching.
Yeah, so I would have first said, sending it to Abinadom. It's Mulek. Long story short, I found Frulam, lost her traveling north of Waterdeep with Cult of the Dragon, currently lost in Bavaria with Thaldor.
Barovia, but yeah, okay.
Oh, Barovia,
yeah. Let me make a roll here. Okay, all right, and after a few moments, you get a response back, and Abinadom says, I hope you brought your garlic and your wooden stakes and your silver weapons. Place is crawling with vampires, werewolves, and the gods know what, and then it cuts off.
And I cast one more sending to him.
To Abinadom?
Yeah.
Okay.
My magic skills are slowly improving. I've been studying what you gave me. I could use any further guidance or help when you have time.
Get back home safe. I'll be glad to teach you what I can. Be safe. Tell Thaldor I said, and then it cuts off.
Nice. Okay. Thaldor, I reached out to Abinadom while you were gone.
I knew you said you knew my uncle, but what did he say?
You said this place was crawling with vampires, or did it cut off? I can't remember.
No, vampires and werewolves. And gods know what, and then it cut off.
Okay. He said this place, this whole Barovia, is crawling with vampires and werewolves and something else.
Well, we knew this place was creepy, but my goodness, that's deep.
Yeah, he said we should prepare stakes and silver weapons and what else? He seemed pretty nervous for me.
Well, at least I'm with you, so it won't be too bad. Did you say anything about me?
Yeah, he said to say hi.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah, good old Uncle Abinadom. Still trying to get that book from Uncle Dorzafir for you, but we'll have to get it, I guess, when we get back to the Sword Coast.
Yeah, I was hoping Abinadom would give me a little bit more help, but he said he would once I got back to his place. So I think we're on our own. He also said he had something important to tell you, but then it cut off.
That makes sense. Well, he knows how to reach me if he needs me. Goodness, my tricks won't come in handy if that's the case here. I mean, I'm prepared for many things, but that's a shock to the system. I knew something was wrong, but that just makes it really, really, really. We're in some shit, and we have to get Faladrin. We have to get out of here. I wonder if we go back to the Vallaki. Is it the Vallaki? Yeah. Go back to them.
The Vistani.
The Vistani. There it is. Vistani.
Vallaki is
where
the
we're
village.
at.
Yeah.
Yeah. Vistani. I mean, they seem like normal-ish people. They're more lively than this town. But we've got to do something. And the way that the lady was talking, she was like that Strahd's the only way out of here, Lord Strahd. I mean, we don't have, from my knowledge, anything powerful enough to walk out of the mist. So I don't know what we're going. I don't even know how we got here, unless trying to leave. But we got to figure something out, Mulek, or bad things could happen.
Yeah. Do you have any silver weapons?
I have silver, but I don't have any silver weapons. I mean, maybe we could make something, I guess. I mean, you got enough silver in your pocket?
I have silver, but I don't have a way to turn it into a weapon.
Well, I didn't mean blacksmithing, but we do know somebody that probably could, if he ever sobers up. But I mean, we could come up with something. But we got to talk to Faladrin. We have to wait till in the morning. I don't know how much sleep we're going to get, but I imagine we'll be taking it in turns.
Okay.
I've got my friends.
That's fair, but I'm going to keep an eye out. So I might take a watch just to watch the door.
Okay. You guys, I'm not going to make you make rolls for this, because you can hear the heavy footsteps of a man in the hallway outside, and then you can hear a key going into a door lock, not into the lock of your door, but presumably the door next door. And the door sort of squeaks on its hinges as it opens, and you hear Ernst's voice, and it says, "Oh, what are you doing? You are being bad. How did you get out of there?" And then you hear the door slam.
Put my ear to the wall.
Okay. Putting your ear to the wall, you hear him saying, You know that you should not be out of that bed. And little kitty doesn't like you. Little kitty doesn't like you, the girl's voice says, and this time it's shouting. And be quiet. We have guests in the house. You cannot disturb them. And then you hear and then it says, "Oh, I don't want to have to restrain you, but I will." No. I smell. I don't like the smell of them. And they are your mother's guests. Now you will get in that bed. You will stay there. And no, you can't tell me what to do. You're a servant. You do what I say. I do what your mother says. And then you hear sounds kind of like a struggle, a little bit of a struggle. And then there's kind of a squeal, kind of a woman's voice that squeals a bit, like a little squeal of pain or discomfort or something. And you hear Ernst, "No, get there." And then you hear like some clattering like almost sounds like some ropes or belts or something are being pulled, and you hear the voice, no, you cannot, and then suddenly it goes like somebody has stuffed a gag into the person's mouth or something. So you're hearing all of this.
Right. I come away from the wall if Mulek's not listening with me, and I tell him, what kind of crazy, messed up circus have we got ourselves into?
I don't know. I mean, she did say her daughter Stella was up here somewhere.
I think we know where she's at, and I think she's disturbed. But why, I couldn't tell you. But they're treating her horribly.
Yeah, it sounds like they're trying to restrain her.
Yeah.
And after a few minutes, the struggling seems to stop, and Ernst, you can hear Ernst's voice again. He says, "I am sorry, but you give me no choice. Now you must be quiet. I will send the girls to check on you during the night, but you be quiet now. Your mother's guests need their sleep." And then you hear him cross the room, open the door, close the door, lock it again, and then you hear his boots receding back down the hallway and then going down the stairs to the first floor.
Mulek, I guess we're just going to watch each other's backs the rest of the night and see what's going to happen first thing in the morning.
All right. And
Is
with that,
Falliger still alive? Are things going well or poorly? What's going on over there?
Falliger, why don't we end the night with Falliger making a Constitution check?
Oh, no.
How about a performance, then a Constitution check?
Let's just make it a Constitution check.
Oh. Con check. I knew I put points into this for a reason. Yeah!
Nice!
Okay. Well, yeah, that's a successful save. Okay. Good job there. All right. Well, we will find out what Falliger was saving against when we pick up next time. But I think that makes a really good cliffhanger to
Yeah, it does.
have him make a Constitution check. And yes, welcome to the home of the Wachters in lovely Vallaki. This is I hope you guys had fun tonight. I know I had fun tonight.
Oh my God, this has been great and freaky and messed up all at the same time. Like, I know Falliger's a freak, but Lord forbid, I think they're more of a freak than he is.
I think you're dead right.
Yeah.
Hey, wait. Let the bodies hit the floor, right?
Oh my goodness. Well, okay. Everybody, we will be back again next week for another session of the Sword Coast Chronicles. And as you can tell, well, 3 weeks into Barovia, and every week things just get a little bit stranger in this place. We will have to see how Falliger fares in the night, and if anything more goes bump, where Mulek and Thaldor are for the evening, or for that matter, if the brothers make any sort of appearance anywhere during the night. We'll find all that out next week. Paul isn't here, but I will. He had to miss the session tonight because he had to work, which is a god awful early day for him in the UK. So our normal start time is about 3 or 4 in the morning for him. So that's a very, very early call to work. Hope he is doing well. And I think if he were here, he would recommend the Action Surge. Look for them over on Twitch. You'll find them on Wednesday nights. They do another D&D game that he's involved in. And Michael, what is going on this weekend over on the Doors of Fear channel?
I'll probably be playing some game tomorrow. I just got a copy of Dyson Sphere Project, which is a new game in early access. I've got some other games to play. So I'll be playing something, maybe some Sea of Thieves. It just varies, but I'll probably end up cracking open the new Dyson Sphere Project because Lord knows Steam had a hell of a sale this week. And I picked up all the rest of the DLC for my Jurassic World Evolution game. So
nice.
I'm going to be busy.
Nice. All right. Well, then you can come back. You guys can come back here and join us on Saturday night for the second planning session of our new campaign. The players decided last Saturday night they want to play a second edition game, and they are debating between 3 different settings, either Dragonlance or Dark Sun or Ravenloft. So we will be playing one of those 3. We need to kind of try to settle on it, and then we'll probably have another couple of planning sessions where we find out exactly what sort of things they want in the game. And I'll have them help me figure out some of the sort of themes and conflicts of that particular game so that I can pull some material that will work well with that. Those are all 3 fun settings, and you can do a lot of different things with those settings. So if you're into watching people plan what game they're going to play, or Saturday night 7:30 for that. Then Sunday afternoon at 2 p.m., the Walker of Waterdeep will be on this channel. The players are gearing up for a big battle against a Draconic Guardian, one of the 5 Draconic Guardians of the Plane of Kamigawa. So that should be interesting. And then on Monday night, we are going to be looking at our 4th episode in our Monster Monday series on goblins. And this time we are going to be looking at goblins from IPs other than D&D. And the reason I'm doing that is because I have discovered over the years that the goblins that show up in my game are always influenced by goblins from other sources other than D&D. And so I think it's fun to look at some of those just so you can see how maybe you can look for your favorite influence of a monster that has one sort of archetype in D&D and have the freedom at your table to make that monster feel a little different, maybe closer to the archetype that it has in another IP that you're familiar with, whether that's a favorite novel or a favorite video game or some other setting that you're familiar with. So we will be looking at that on Monday night. And then we will be back here next Thursday for Sword Coast Chronicles. Guys, I'm sorry. There were 2 or 3 times tonight where I thought there might be a good moment for a break, but every time I thought we were getting to that point, something else happened, and I didn't want to interrupt what we were doing, so we wound up not having a break tonight.
You're fine. I was just cracking in the Discord. I was like, did we ever take one? It's been great. No, it's fun. It's been great.
Okay, and I'm going to put the slate back up, and then in addition to being a member of Team Game Rebel, we are also over here a member of the small streamer community team. And so that is a kind of a vibrant community. And so for April, I have put the small streamer community as my main shelf on my channel. So we're going to go ahead and find somebody that is playing here and see what they are doing. Then there's some Minecraft, there's some Outrider. Okay. This. Well, looks like we have Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Retro FIFA 21, Minecraft, Outriders, Apex.
Oh, yeah, that's that new game. Outriders is that new game just come out not long ago.
All right. So let's go check out Outriders. This will be D370X that we will raid. Okay, so we'll go ahead and raid him. All right, everyone. You guys have a great week. Take care. Thank you so much, chat, for hanging out with us tonight and putting up with our shenanigans. We hope you enjoyed it, and we hope we will see you back again next week for another episode of the Sword Coast Chronicles, lounging around Barovia. At least somebody in the party is having fun.
Maybe a little too much fun.
Yeah. All right, and here comes your raid in 3, 2, 1. Good night, everybody. All right.
What a game. My